The Assembly will now take a decision on draft resolution A/80/L10 entitled Building a Peaceful and Better World Through Sport and the Olympic Ideal. May I take it that the Assembly decides to adopt draft resolution A/80/L10? It is so decided.
Madame President, dear delegates, at a time of growing discord and conflict, sport and the Olympic Games can provide a beacon of hope, an alternative to rivalry and division. Yes, the Olympic Games are founded on competition and the pursuit of excellence. But throughout their history, they have demonstrated something even more powerful, a sense of humanity which transcends even the greatest of athletic achievements. For the first time in 2 decades, the Olympic and Paralympic Games will return to Italian soil in February and March next year.
The Games in Milano Cortina will be my first as president of this International Olympic Committee. I often think back as a 9-year-old girl in Zimbabwe growing up, watching the 1992 Barcelona Olympic Games and telling my parents that I was one day going to go to the Olympics and win a gold medal. And a few years later, when I was 21, I got the honor of standing on that Olympic podium. That little girl never could have imagined that one day I would be given such a huge honor of leading this incredible organization. And with this role comes great responsibility, a responsibility to stand up for everything that makes sport and the Olympic Games such a powerful force for good. It is a responsibility I hope to share with everyone who believes in the values of our Olympic movement. And it is a responsibility that I humbly ask all of you to share with me today. Around the world, conflict and division continue to cause untold suffering. In such a world, sport and the Olympic Games in particular can offer a rare space where people meet not as adversaries, but as fellow human beings. When athletes come together, they do not see nationality, religion, or background. They see one another as fellow athletes. They compete fiercely, yet they embrace as friends, united by the same hopes and dreams. They respect the sacrifices that each of them has made simply to reach the starting line. They show us what humanity can be at its very best. This is the spirit of the Olympic Truce, a call to set aside what divides us and rather to focus on what unites us. But athletes cannot do this alone. They can only inspire the next generation if they are able to compete. In this divided world, we need to work together to keep sport and politics apart. This means athletes must be able to enter host countries and take part in competitions, not face the threat of being left back at home because they are denied a visa for political motivated reasons. The final list of competitors must be decided by international federations, not by governments, and athletes must not be judged on where they come from, but rather on their sporting merits. Imagine being an athlete who has given everything for the chance to compete at the Olympic Games. The early mornings, the missed family moments, the years and years of dedication. Imagine the joy, the excitement of qualification, followed by the shock of being told you cannot compete, not because of anything that was in your control or what you did on the field of play, but because of politics far beyond your reach or control. This is why the Olympic Truce is so important, and this is why I'm so grateful for all of your support today. You are sending a clear message to the athletes of the world that yes, you will stand with them as they show on the Olympic stage that sport can unite us, despite what divides us. It is only when we protect the autonomy of sport that we can promise athletes from every country that they will be able to compete freely. It is only then that the young child watching the Olympic Games for the very first time can be inspired to dream big without the threat of any interference beyond their control. It is only then that the athlete can rejoice in the euphoria of qualifying for their very first Olympic Games and can continue to celebrate confidently that the only selection criteria will be done on the field of play.